Hi there, today is the day after yesterday. How do you like that one? Got around that whole filming on the wrong day thing. I'm just teasing. Today is Wednesday. It's day 3 of week 12 of 52 weeks of vlogging. And I actually want to make today's video a kind of addendum to yesterday's video. Yesterday I talked a lot about fandoms and communities, specifically Nerdfighteria, and what people have said about those communities. I covered a lot of ground in that video and it's linked in the description and you can go watch it there, but I want to add to what I said because I said that in some ways you can't blame some of the people who act not as nice as we would hope they would act because of their age or their level of social development or their social awkwardness or whatever. And I still stand by that, but at the same time, I think it's important that we not confuse the actions of a person within a group with the actions of the group and with what the group itself represents. When I used to live in Scotland, there would be someone with a vaguely North American-y sounding accent and they would say something that generally showed basic ignorance. One time there was this lady who talked about how neat it was that they put the castle so close to the railway station and the railway tracks. Yeah. And inevitably one of the Scottish people around me was like, stupid dumb Americans. And I was like, standing right here. And then they'd always be like, oh no, not you, not you. Like you're really smart. It's, you know, all the other ones, which is just BS. And I noticed two things there. The first thing is that it's always assumed that the stupid one is the American. Each country falls into a stereotype. Canadians are nice, Americans are stupid, French people are snobby, English people can't get past the status quo. These are the stereotypical molds that we just kind of slot people into, and it's not true and it's not fair and we shouldn't do it. But we can't help it, and I'll get back to that in a minute. And the other thing I notice is that it's always the negative thing that gets stereotyped. Like nobody would say, wow, look at you, you are so smart, Americans must be geniuses. Never! It's always the opposite. It's always like, hey, no offense to you because you're the exception, but all the other people from your country, nothing going on up there. And we all know that that's not true. We know that people from all walks of life, all countries, all ethnic backgrounds, all economic backgrounds, all social backgrounds, lesbians, gay people, straight people, no matter what your orientation, your background, your culture, your skin color, your weight, every category of humans has smart people and dumb people, nice people and mean people, the whole gamut, because we're human. There are both wonderful and horrible people everywhere in every social and economic grouping, no matter how you cut it up. That includes fandoms and that includes Nerdfighteria. And yet we still have this urge to label behavior. We still have this urge to pigeonhole people. And I think that that's a really basic urge. It's something that comes out of our need to belong somewhere and our need for community and our need to feel part of something. And part of how we define where we belong and what our community is and what we're part of is by defining what it's not. So we pick out the stuff that is other and we put it over there. We define ourselves not only by what we are, but by what we aren't. And what we aren't stays way, way over there where it's not part of us and it can't reach us and it can't touch us. And maybe it's also a little bit scary and a little bit frightening. And inevitably all the stuff that we package over there in that other category, that people who are not us category, is the bad stuff because nobody sees themselves as the bad guy. Yes, people are capable of seeing bad qualities in themselves, but generally on the whole, we don't look at ourselves and go, the racist bigot butthead who goes off spouting mean things to people all the time, that's me. For the most part, we're all the heroes of our own story. This particularly struck me during the Becoming YouTube video because there they were talking about how snarky and elitist and snobby and exclusive some of the Nerdfightarians can be, and there they were being snarky and elitist and snobby and exclusive themselves. And I was watching this and I was like, And the thing is that even though this tendency to label and pigeonhole is probably a natural, very basic instinct kind of thing, when it escalates to bullying, it becomes a problem. And it can even become dangerous. Today is Anti-Bullying Awareness Day. I'm wearing pink to support that drive. And I found out from a friend of mine today that a teenager she knows took his life a week ago because he was bullied at school for being gay. What? This is one of the most tragic, horrible, unspeakably awful things I didn't even know this kid, and all I can think of is that could be one of my kids one day. And I don't want that to be one of my kids one day. My younger son dances, he does competitive dance, and he's 5 years old. He's been dancing, this is his 3rd year dancing. And my older son has longish hair. It used to be a lot longer, and he wanted it long. He never wanted to cut his hair. Our neighbors all said, well, you know, you gotta cut his hair before he starts school because he's gonna get teased at school for his hair. They're your kids. Teach them to freaking not tease a guy because of his hair. How can you just say to someone, you're gonna get bullied for that, suck it up? How can you just talk about it as if it's just, you know, par for the course, as if it's just, this is just what happens and, you know, rite of passage, deal with it? That's crap. That way of thinking is just unacceptable to me. It's unacceptable to me that a parent can stand by and allow their child to bully another child. It's unacceptable to me that a child can be made to feel that it's somehow their responsibility for being bullied because they chose to deviate from the norm. And no, I don't believe it's a choice to be gay. I believe it's something you're born with, but that's not even part of the issue. The issue here is, are you human or are you not? Because if you're human, I'm pretty sure that you deserve to live a life without being bullied, no matter what your interests are, your sexual orientation is, your skin color is, your economic background is. I think that when we look at a group of people, whether they're homosexual people or dark-skinned people or tall people or fat people or short people or bald people, or whether they're members of a fandom or a counterculture like Nerdfighteria, we are treading on very, very unsteady ground when we start saying things like, oh, that group of people are elitist, that group of people are snobby, that group of people are whatever negative quality that you choose to throw at that group of people. And I think that certainly for me as an adult in the Nerdfighter community, I feel a responsibility to be even more open-minded and even more generous with myself and with my patience and with my kindness towards people, even the people who maybe throw out an offhand comment like, oh, well, those are all stupid. I feel a responsibility to address it in a way that is kind and compassionate and respectful. Even if it's just saying something like, well, you know, I don't think they're stupid, but I can see where you're coming from, that you don't like them as much. Part of our job as people is to teach the other people around us how to be better people. And that's part of what Nerdfighteria is about. I don't think there's any value in calling someone out as being a butthead or elitist or exclusive. I don't think there's any value in saying, oh, well, that counterculture group sucks and they're not as good as the other counterculture groups because they're too snobby about being who they are. If you feel that way because you truly dislike what they're doing and what they're about, then fine. Don't be part of it. Ignore them. They can do their thing. You can do your thing. I think that the important thing about fandoms and countercultures is that they give everybody who associates with them a place to feel that they belong. That's something that this teenage boy really probably desperately needed. And the more we can offer to people like him who feel marginalized for any reason, the better off everybody will be. And I think that's all I have to say on that now. I think I'm done. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a fun video, I promise. This was heavy. Today and yesterday were really heavy. And tomorrow will be light and fluffy. Oh, and also the clue, the refrigerator clue, that's tomorrow, that video. I lied a little bit when I said the refrigerator clue would be for the next day. I lie a lot. I'll make it up to you, I promise.